Good afternoon. I'm Nirmalya. I don't know the PPT I thought I'll speak through. So I manage one of the largest AI chip manufacturer of the US. So I thought when I look back this session, I thought I'll make it more contextual to media. Uh, Myself, I am from Infosys. I'm from the communication, media, and technology group within Infosys. We manage all the worldwide large media and entertainment companies and tech companies. If you look at the media within India, right, the media industry, it is almost doubling from 20 in last 5 years. 2020, it was close to $14 billion, and next year it should hit around $28 billion, right? So this is a growth trajectory which has almost year on year, almost 10% or more than 10% growth, as an industry. And AI has been already in the heart and center of the media industry, so to say, right? So if you look at the different sectors within the media industry, right? The television sectors or the print media or the films or the digital, right? Everywhere, every heart and corner of these sectors, AI has already have been a play. It's not that AI is new, right? So what I thought to reflect where exactly it has made a play and what we can do more, so that we can have some interactive Q&A from you all, right? Uh, if you look up, if you look broadly, there are three different areas where the industry mainly works, right? It starts from the content creation, right? Where the content gets created, how productively, how efficiently, how with lesser effort can AI help or AI powered content can be created for the media, right? And if you look at today in India, I don't want to talk about the West because we do most of the clients are our Western clients. Almost all the media clients we manage in the West. But if you look at even in India, most of the newsrooms, right, be it Times Now, News 18, almost most of them today use AI-powered, ways to create content by looking at different data sources, different websites, social media, and generate news on trending topics on the fly, right? So that, in a way, reduces the overall effort and brings that efficiency and brings that competitiveness over others, when it comes to content creation, right? The next is around content delivery, right? Or content distribution. If you look at how the whole streaming industry have been in last a decade, thanks to COVID, for many to even think beyond, right? Have been miracle, right? Where AI has helped a lot to look at how best streaming can be to the end users. How can you see their preferences, see their history of usage, and give recommendation of what content they are looking for or they would like to see, right? And then lastly, the audience engagement, right? What we call the third pillar of the sector, right? Where how exactly you engage with the audience or the consumer, right? If you look at even in that segment, the AI chatbots, virtual assistants have done massive penetration to reach the audience to interact around the clock, right? So I probably talked about a lot of good things that have been happening, and I'm not getting into some of the sessions in a topic which got covered in the previous session. I was listening towards the end. I closely work with Amitabh actually as part of the Vasini program. I'm part of the AI India discussions as well. But if you look at the flip side of this, right, when the content gets created, right, the first, right, there are a lot of bias that gets built in the system. As my friend talked about, the underlying tech stack which goes behind the AI models, right, is about what data are you, training your model, right, and how the data is without bias. Garbage in is garbage out, right? If you train a model with a lot of data which is having different types of bias, right? It could have a selection bias, it could have a sample bias, it could have a confirmation bias. There are n number of bias. I don't want to get into the technical side of it. But if the data has huge bias built into it, the model is going to do wrong association and wrong prediction and wrong content generation, right? So that's very, very, harmful for the industry and for the, humanity or the citizens, because eventually media is the fourth pillar of the democracy, right? After executive, legislative, and judiciary. If the content that generates on the fly from the content generation track through AI powered gets biased, leads into content which are misinformation or biased information, it's going to impact everyone, right? So you should be careful on that. There could be fake news. I think somebody spoke in the previous call, right? How do you know which one is fake? In fact, AI is being used to create fake and to combat fake. So it's both way, right? While somebody is using in unethical ways to create fake news, somebody is trying to use and combat whether it is true or a fake news, right? So content creation, while is powered with AI, a lot. Equally, we have to see how we reduce bias, we reduce some of this misinformation that goes to the market, and then I'll get into some technical around hallucination, right? Models have to be designed right way also to avoid the level of hallucinations in them. Some of the recent, in last 2 years, if you see some of the top hallucinations, which have made real big, news in the market is. If you ask Meta AI about Trump getting a shot on the ear, it doesn't actually recognize that news. It says as if it is a fake news. So if you look at that model that was running then to check the factness or the correctness of that news itself is not able to combat whether it is correct or incorrect. So we are at that stage where things are evolving, right? There are, if you look at Google AI Studio, there have been, questions asking, did Neil Armstrong, go to moon, right? And the hallucination led to the summary saying that, yeah, Neil Armstrong went to moon with a cat. And in fact, it started associating to the statement that Neil made a small step in, to the step of a cat. So what I was trying to say is sometimes this hallucination can lead to content which can be very imaginary and very inaccurate, right? We need to understand that the bias, the misinformation, the hallucination of these AI models have to be, guardrailed when you are actually pushing that content to the citizens or to the humans, right? Second is about the delivery, right? Yes, content has to be delivered. I think we talked about people worried about job loss. I agree with what Amitabh said in the previous call. I think we have seen that, in so many, revolutions, industrial revolutions, to this, right? I believe, yes, in interim, we may see some, job, going away because, probably some of these AI models are going to do that. But what that eventually will have is it will create space for journalists and all to do more creative and more higher value added, work, right? Which is how things have evolved over time. We should not take it very negatively. Lastly, if you look at the virtual assistants or the AI chatbot part to connect to people, right? Which is the third area where media works a lot. I think that piece is getting improved over time, and that will only improve when some of these bias from the system, some of these hallucinations from the systems are taken away, right? So in summary, if I say within India, with the digital public infrastructure that is getting built, what Amitabh talked about, the DPI, and different government also having the AI policies, I'm part of Orissa government AI policy as well. I think we should look at how to improve this to get that amplification in the media segment. I know, I don't know if I've taken more time, but if you have any questions, I can probably answer, some if you have. Because we work a lot on the hardware side as well. We actually build the chips that actually you run the AI workloads. You would have heard about, I don't want to disclose the name, but probably there are only a couple of companies in the world who actually build those chips. So we are the ones who we make chips for the AI workloads. In fact, this time we are launching the AI PCs. So the laptops that you'll get, you'll be able to run, the lower billion parameters like star coders or 2 billion, 3 billion parameters models on your laptop itself. We don't need GPUs to run the AI workloads. If you have specific questions on that, I can take that as well.